everyone, welcome to Make Moments Matter, a music education podcast, where I share lesson ideas, songs, games, and inspiring things for your elementary music classroom. My name is David Rao, and I am the music teacher who blogs at makemomentsmatter.org. This episode of the podcast is a replay containing the audio version of a Musical Mondays live video. If you're not familiar with Musical Mondays, every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, I go live on Facebook and Instagram to share about the lessons that I'm using in class with my students. I give a recap of my kindergarten through 5th grade lessons, and then do a deep dive about one grade level and share the books, instruments, songs, and process that I use to teach the lesson to kids. This podcast episode contains all the audio from the Musical Mondays video, but if you'd like to see a replay of the video itself, you can find a link to the archived video on YouTube when you click the link in the notes for this episode. Thanks so much for tuning in. Here's the show. Hey everyone, my name is David Rao, and I am the teacher who blogs at makemomentsmatter.org. You can also find my ideas on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, a variety of other places when you search for my name, David Rao, or Make Moments Matter. I'm excited tonight to be talking about Miss Mary Mack and how I share that lesson with my students. I'm trying something new this year, so I thought I would just share that process with you and let you kind of see like how I teach that. And if that process works for you, great. But I just want to sort of share how that works for me. That's coming up in just a second. A couple quick things to share. If you hear me talk about a resource book, something you're interested in this video, go to my blog, makemomentsmatter.org, click the video tab, and you can find there a links page with all the links, or wherever you're watching, listening to this, there's probably a link on the caption. You can just go directly there. I'm going to be doing some workshops in person in the coming weeks. I was just in Austin, Texas for a workshop this last Saturday. I'm going to be in Missoula, Montana on August 28th with the Treasure State ORF chapter. If you're in that area, I hope you'll come join us for that. I'm going to be at the North Central Wisconsin ORF chapter. That's in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. That's coming up on October 12th. So if you are in Missoula or North Central Wisconsin, you want to come join us, we would love to have you for workshops coming up. Also, I've been doing these giveaways on the weekends because I know that once end of July and August finishes up and Target puts away the back of school and starts pulling out the candy corn, the whole excitement for being a teacher sort of fades away, and then it's we've got this whole year ahead of us. So I was I want to do some giveaways and things in September to keep people excited about being a teacher throughout the whole school year. And so the last couple weeks I've been doing giveaways. This last weekend I just had 10 winners. I'm going to announce them here in just a second. And this was a giveaway for subtub resources, for book companion resources. So there are 10 winners. Let me name them really quick. They're all going to get an email, obviously, but in case you're listening, here's the live. Okay. Jennifer Kanzler, Virginia Sullivan, Alana McCroskey, Jamie Hallman, and Sam Simon. You're all winners of fun little digital bundle of things you're going to get later today, or maybe tomorrow if I don't get to the emails tonight. And then these next 5 winners get the digital prize and a physical book. This Kristen McCroczek, it's not your name, it's that I can't read my handwriting. Cheryl Walburn, Leslie Duenas, Tracy Stakem, and Julie Osmundson. You're all going to get the digital resource and a physical book. So be checking your email for those. Congrats to all of you winners. I just got to say, the giveaway I have planned for this weekend is so exciting. I am very, very excited about it, and for all the people who are going to win. I can't say more, but just come back on Friday, check out my Facebook page, or I'm going to send an email if you're on my email list. Just wait until Friday. It's very, very exciting for some winners. Oh, okay. And then one more thing before I get to Miss Mary Mack. I got to explain the shirt because I may or may not be a candy corn influencer now. If you want the whole story, check out my Instagram and Facebook stories from today. But I'm really working on being a candy corn influencer. And by that, I mean, I want Brock's candy corn, basically the only maker of candy corn in the country, to see how much I love candy corn, and I would love to be their spokesperson. Anyway, for at least the music ed contingent. So anyway, but just as perfectly happens that I got my new shirt from Musically Minted just this weekend that has candy corn and music notes with candy corn colors, and I was just oh my gosh, I have to wear it. Because candy corn is amazing, and it's like pre-spooky season for me. I don't like put out Halloween decorations and stuff until like October actually hits. So like now's your chance to like get the cool merch. So like Musically Minted has some really cool stuff out right now. Go check it out. Get a candy corn shirt or whatever else you want, because it's super duper cool. Okay, I just have to explain why I'm wearing a candy corn shirt in the middle of September, because like it's harvest season. Candy corn it's in season right now. And so because of my excitement for that, and this new shirt I had to wear. Okay. So I want to talk today about Miss Mary Mack. I will admit I have never taught this before. This is year 14 or 15 for me, and I just never have. I don't know why. It just has like not been like in my sequence until now. And so I'm teaching it for the first time. And I wanted to share like kind of the process of like how I teach it and what I'm doing with it, and get y'all's feedback too, about the process and see what you do different or what resources you use. So I'm just going to jump into it and share just a little bit. So never taught it before. I've always like loved the song, and I don't know why. It's just like never made it into my lessons, but I'm using Miss Mary Mack this year. And so with my second graders, I'm trying out, I feel like it would be a good time to bring in, because it has a very like iconic, well-known clapping game. And I feel like second grade is the first time where they really have the hand-eye coordination and the dexterity to handle a game of this complexity. Because it is kind of complex. It's like that zone of proximal development that Vygotsky talked about, where it's like right on the edge of like what they're able to do and like pushes them. So I feel like this is a really fun song to do that. So when I introduce it with kids, I've actually, because I treat my students like a lab, like I think of it like I'm learning, we're all learning. I want to try some different things. Since I'd never taught this before, I wanted to try and teach it a couple different ways. So one way I just start with a story, which I'll tell you in a second. And another way I start with a resource that I've shared or that I have. And let me share that with you. So let me switch Instagram over so they can see this. Whoop. Okay, hold on. Let me just change this really quick. Sorry, Instagram. I will get you. Here we go. Okay. Ooh, and it's really hard to see this. Okay, so Miss Mary Mack. So this is a favorite folk song resource that I made a couple years ago. And so with a couple of my classes, I've been trying it like this, where I talk about Miss Mary Mack. It's a jump rope song. I show them some of these details before we do stuff. Or I've tried a couple of ways where where I teach a little bit of it, and then I come and give them some context. So I talk about it's from the South. That's the region. We can't pin it down to an actual exact state, exactly where it's from. So I just talk about the region. The song is very old, actually. So it's been around since 1888 at least. That was when it's first written down. But probably it's older than that, honestly. Because it's the first time it was written down was a time where not as many people would read or write. So it was more likely it had been around for a long, long time, and that this was just when they had written it down. So it's a very famous song, and some people think that it is the most common hand clapping game in the English-speaking world. So people all around the world have used this for a long, long time. It's fun to make that connection, say like, and now you all are going to get to learn it. I do talk a little bit about clapping games, what that means, usually 2 or more players, usually rhythmic. Just give a little example. Then I say, you might have learned this, or you might have learned a version like it. We talk about variation. And so on this page, we talk about like a hamburger. What needs to be in a hamburger? It needs to have a bun and a burger, but everything else could change. Maybe you want cheese, maybe you want lettuce, maybe you want 5 patties, maybe you want only 1, maybe you want, so that's why sometimes people will do this song and they'll do it a little bit different than you might learn it today. It might just be a different version, different variation. That happens a lot with folk songs. So I talk with kids a little bit about that. I haven't really talked about the jump rope rhyme yet with my classes, but you absolutely could. Where this is a song that sometimes uses a hand clapping game and sometimes used as a jump rope song. So you can talk a little bit about that. So in the song, it says buttons down her back. Why does she have buttons? Well, it could be an ornament, could make them pretty, but also since the song's really old, she might have needed the buttons to keep her dress together, because zippers started to be used in 1917, and Velcro wasn't invented until 1941, and this song was first written down in 1888. So it's much older than zippers or Velcro. So it might be that they actually use the buttons, actually. And then this is the tidbit that I think is the most interesting. Some people think that Miss Mary Mack could be a song about the USS Merrimack. It's a Union ship used during the Civil War. It was an ironclad warship, so a boat with like metal, right? And it was held together with metal rivets, which some people think might be where the all dressed in black with silver buttons came from. Since we don't know the original composer or where the song is truly originated, it's hard to prove this theory, but it's possible. It's in the right time period. I think it's super fascinating. So also in this resource, which is linked on the links page if you're more interested, it has a whole page with lyrics. It has a page with the written notation if you're interested. It also has a page with like media links if you want to go watch some people do it, some spots for vocabulary, things like that. But if I'm going to teach it with kids and I'm going to put the words up, I would use this lyrics page where it has all the things out sort of like this. Okay, however, like I said, I treat my students kind of like a lab. And so some of them I've used this resource and some of them I've used a different resource. Let me see if I can switch over to that. So let's move this over. So some of my students, let me hide this, and I'm going to hide that. Okay, some of them see this. So if this is just an image of a woman in a black dress with buttons down her back, it was actually kind of tricky to find that, but I found it. And this just has Miss Mary Mack, and then Mack has stars around it, right? So just to highlight those words. So some kids, I teach the song like this. I say, there was this girl, she loved black so much, and she wore black all the time, and her name was Mary. Mary Mack was her name, and I have a little song about her. With these kids, I don't teach the song as it is. I teach it a little bit differently. So the way I teach when I teach this version is, Miss Mary Mack, all dressed in black, with silver buttons all down her back. And I have them learn that and repeat it. And we talk about how it's the same bum, 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 bum. You know, like it's that same sound for every line. So it's very easy to sing because it's the same every time. Miss Mary Mack, all dressed in black, with silver buttons all down her back. And I say, because the words are so easy, I mean, because the melody is so easy, bum, 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 bum. What I think is interesting is those words with the stars around them, because some of them are easy and some of them are not so easy. Find the one that's not so easy. Miss Mary Mack, all dressed in black, with silver buttons all down her back. And almost all of them will say right away, it's the buttons. And it's buttons because it's hard to fit that sound buttons so fast into a spot where you just put Mac, black, buttons. It's difficult because of the two syllables on the one space. So with kids, I teach them like this. And then I say, okay, now here's the thing. For each word with a star around it, you have to do it 3 times in a row like this. Miss Mary Mack, 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 all dressed in black, 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 with silver buttons, 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 all down her back, back, back. And which one is the trick? Buttons. Now it's 3 times tricky because you have to do it 3 times in a row. Oh my gosh. So we try it. We get used to doing that. And I say, but that's not the end of the story. There's more. She asked her mother, mother, mother for 50 cents, cents, cents to see the elephants, elephants, elephants who jumped the fence, fence, fence. Okay, before, a girl who just, wore a black dress with silver buttons, that could be normal. But now, asking her mother for 50 cents to see elephants jump over a fence, I think we have crossed in the land of silly. I'm pretty sure. But guess what? There's more. They jumped so high, 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 they reached the sky, 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 and didn't come back, back, back till the 4th of July, lie, lie. Oh my gosh, they jumped so high, they reached the sky and didn't come back till the 4th of July, and kids are like, wah! I'm like, I know, this is silly, but there's more. She asked her mother, mother, mother for 50 cents more, more, more to see the elephants, elephants, elephants jump out the door, door, door. Kids think this is hilarious and super fun. I'm going to turn this video back around. They think it's hilarious. They think it's really fun. And it's an easy way to start by just like talking about the lyrics and working through the lyrics and getting them a chance to like understand the song before I add a clapping game. So that's been my process so far is I teach the song, I teach the story, and then I do the clapping game. Because like I said, this clapping game, it is not beyond them. but it's at the point where it's tricky enough that I don't want to overload them. And so I want to do one thing, get that solidified, and then add the game. Some kids already know the clapping game and they're already trying to do it right away. Or they know the clapping game and they don't like when I go, Miss Mary Mack, because they're trying to go, Mac, Mac, Mac. I'm like, I know you know that one. But listen, I'm going to try something a little different. Let's make sure that your version matches my version. So it's only like 1 or 2 kids per class, so no big deal. So I teach it that way, and then I say, you know what, we're going to add some actions. So in this part that goes, Miss Mary Mack, 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 all dressed in black, 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 and I leave the lyrics up on the screen. Any word with the stars around it, I want you to take your hand, and I want you to pretend like there is a button in the air, and you're gonna pop that button every time you have a repeated word. It's going to be like this: Miss Mary Mack, 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 all dressed in black, 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 with silver buttons, buttons, buttons all down her back, back, back. Great. Do the same thing, but use your other hand. Okay. Miss Mary Mack, 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 all dressed in black, 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 with silver buttons, buttons, buttons all down her back, back, back. And we just try that in one hand, the other hand. I'm just going to say for the record right now, this is processing out the lesson that kids have learned on the playground for years and years and years. So kids would not have taught each other like this. But this is just me like playing around, seeing like what would happen if I processed it out differently or tried things differently. Because kids would normally be hearing the song and doing the game all at once. Can they handle it? Sure, they've been doing it for decades. But I just want to see like, what if I did it this way? What would it be like? Okay, so we did one hand, other hand. I say, now let's try alternating. Miss Mary Mack, 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 all dressed in black, 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 with silver buttons, buttons, buttons all down her back, back, back. Oh, the alternating is great. And then I'll sometimes say, I try this with a couple classes. Can you do your right hand first, always? Miss Mary, right, left, right, all dressed in right, left, right. So we try that. We do a little bit of that. We sing through most of the song, doing variations of that. So they get the words, they get the actions, they get to try both. Okay, you did the starred words, but the other words have an action too. Don't worry, it's easy. The other words go like this: Miss Mary. That's it. So it's clap, pat, clap. And then on the starred words, can you just put your hands out like this, like stop, we don't want to do any more. Just the start, just the easy stuff. So it's going to go, Miss Mary Mack, 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 all dressed in black, 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 with silver buttons, buttons, buttons all down her back, back, back. So we do a version like that where we do the non-starred words with actions, and then we have to put it together. So when we put it together, it goes, Miss Mary Mack, 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 all dressed in black, 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 with silver buttons, buttons, buttons all down her back, back, back. There's more. But kids, we try that. We put those two together and I say, great, now, before we add anything new, I need you to find a partner. So then they find a partner and then they'll go, oh my gosh, it's a clapping together game. Yeah, so we learned the parts separate from being with partners. Now we're putting it with partners. So now they're going to go, Miss Mary, right hand, left hand, right. Sorry, right, left, right, all dressed in right, left, right, with the partner actually patting their partner's hand. So going back and forth. The final step is, when they're ready, is to add in a clap between each of the button pops, right? So Miss Mary, right clap, left clap, right, all dressed in right clap, left clap, right. I could have added that earlier. I just left it out because I was like, we don't really need it. It'll be easy to slip that in later. And it has been with most of the classes I've been trying this out with. So you should be able to do that pretty easily if you want to later on. Or you can, when you do the button pop thing, you could add in a clap there. Okay, this is like basically the end of where my kids got in this first day. So what did I do with this? Was it started with just the lyrics. Like I said, I treat it like a lab. So some kids I talk about the history. Some kids I just go right into the story. It depends. I think the ones who go right into the story work better. And I think that now, if I were going to teach it again, I would do story and game on the first day. The second day when we come back to it, that's when I give them the history and the backstory and put all of that in on the second day before we play and sing the game. But I wanted to try it different ways. So I just tried different ways and it worked okay with either. But I think that's how I do it, is the first day would be the song, the story, and then the clapping game. And then the second day would be a little bit more history. There is more. So on that first day, at the end of the day, I took a video, I added it on Seesaw. A lot of parents already responded to it and were like, oh my gosh, I remember this from elementary school, which is so cool. But I put a little blurb on there with Seesaw about something like, we're playing this game. It's, from 1888. Or I think I started out with like, if your kids ask you for 50 cents because they want to go see the elephants, here's why. And I gave a little blurb about the song, whatever. And then I said, this is just our first day doing it. So it's not perfect, but we wanted to share it with you anyway. I love doing that through Seesaw because I don't want parents to get this idea in Seesaw that like what you're seeing is a perfect final product. It's not. You're seeing the process. That's the beauty of Seesaw, is that you can send home videos all the time, content all the time, to see that process. And just like their homeroom teachers are sending pictures of worksheets and sending pictures of work in class, it is not a finished product. It is not a bundled product. But I know that as the music teacher, we have different expectations or beliefs about what we share. And so I want parents to know when I'm sitting through Seesaw, like, this is a rough draft. This is our first day. It's going to change. It's going to get better, but I wanted you to see it. I wanted you to see the first day, how much we did in the first day. So I always preface that when I do stuff on Seesaw, like, hey, there's a work in progress. I hope you enjoy it. But that end of that first day, we took a video of the kids on their own independently playing the game and singing the song. And I sent that home for parents to see. On day 2, we go a little bit more in depth. We do with one partner, and then I make them switch to a new partner, because sometimes you get really comfortable with one partner. When you switch, you find out, ooh, I don't know this as well as I thought, which is fun. So I have them switch a couple times just so they get a little bit more perspective and try it and work it with someone else. That actually is a really illuminating thing to see them work with someone else. Are they getting it or are they not? The last thing is that you can do a variation of the clapping game if you want to make it trickier. So the bum 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 bum, so la ti do, that line though, every time it goes clap, pat, clap, partner, 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 pat, clap, clap. Sorry, clap, pat, clap, partner, 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 clap, pat, clap, partner. That is the simplified version. The tricky version is Miss Mary, so la ti do, is cross your hands over your shoulders, down, pat your knees, clap your hands. So cross, pat, clap, partner, 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 cross, clap, cross, pat, clap. I can do it. I can't sing. Sorry, cross. Now I'm trying to say the right words. I almost said crass. Okay, cross, pat, clap, partner, 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 cross, pat, clap, partner, partner, partner. Yeah, and I don't say that to kids. I just show them, but that's the more complicated version. So instead of just clap, pat, clap, it's cross, pat, clap. That's tricky. It's tricky for a couple of reasons. They're crossing the midline. They're moving their hands over. Their hands are having to cross, and then they're going down. It just complicates the process. So I don't teach it that way. I teach it as clap, pat, clap. And once they've learned that and become comfortable with it, I show them this new variation that they could do, but are not necessarily required to do. Okay, so this is the process I'm using right now. If you're like, hey, this is cool, but I would change X, Y, and Z, or did you know this resource exists, or have you watched this video of these kids doing it, or whatever, please send me messages with all those things. Like I said, I don't know how, but in like 14, 15 years, I have never taught this song before. And so I'm exploring all this stuff. Please send in your ideas, and I'll share them with folks in the next week as I do some of that. It's a super fun game. Kids already love it. I know that they're going to continue to love it because this song's been around for over a century, right? Like, it's been around for a long, long time. So I know it's going to stand the test of time. My kids are going to like it, but it's just something I'm trying for the first time. So I'm excited to see like how they develop with it and what comes next. Okay. One last reminder, check back this weekend for a really cool giveaway. I am super duper excited about it. And that's all I'm going to say right now, but check back on Friday. Or this Saturday, Sunday, this weekend. Share with your friends. It's a super cool opportunity. I'm going to send an email out to my email list. So if you're on that list, you're going to get info about it on Friday. Otherwise, check back makemomentsmatter.org/giveaway, because we all need a little encouragement this time of year, all times of the year, but especially this time of year. So come back and check that out. If not, I will see you all next Monday for another Musical Mondays video. Thanks for coming along with me tonight, everyone. Have a great night.